Yo, welcome back, R&V Family. How's everybody doing out there? I am your host, Tarius, and this is Rhythm and Views. And yeah, it's the show, man. This is the show where we actually, we talk about R&B. We try to shine a light on that. And, we cover news and stuff like that. And also, we try to shine a light also on independent, artists and small businesses. So we try to show love to everybody. And we're trying to, like some of my friends out there say, we're trying to build a community here where, artists can come and they can share their music and we can, talk about it, we can review it, and, we can kind of, tell you maybe where you're messing up, and then maybe, or maybe we just give you 2 thumbs up because it was that good, So y'all might notice that's a little different today because I got a very special guest that we about to, have him come on real quick. Y'all been hearing about it for a while. I got my cousin from Loading Snacks. Y'all been hearing me talk about his show on here for a little bit, and other people that we got, sponsors and things of that nature. But before we go any further, I need y'all to do me a favor, man. Can y'all hit that subscribe button and just caress that that like button, baby? It's like a booty, you know how we do, because if y'all like the material that we put off for y'all every single week, man, y'all gotta show that support. It's good for the algorithms and it helps YouTube know that we're taking over, man. We're trying to take over. So y'all got to help me out. So that's the lineup for today. Oh, also, and at the end, I think we're going to do a little bit of Best Life Spotlight. And that's also, like I said, that's where we shine a light and we kind of mention, little things going on, small business, independent artists and things of that nature. And that's just what we do, man. That's what we do. So that's just the special lineup for today. But before we go any further, I think we need to go ahead and bring the intro in. Bang. Yeah, man. So y'all already know, man, it's Rhythm and Views. And we've already explained what Rhythm and Views is. Hopefully y'all going to watch all the way to the end. We need that. Go ahead and show that support. And like I said, man, we're going to do something a little different today. We got a hot topic that we're going to talk about. We're going to try having these grown-up conversations, and you never know. I mean, it's always going to be, music-based. But we might talk about some things that might be controversial. We might have some fun topics. We might talk about sex. Hey, you don't know, man. You don't never know what's going to happen. But that's the show for today. But today's topic, man, we're going to talk about the state of R&B, man. Now, this might be a little controversial because some people out there might be like, nah, I don't agree with that. Depending on your age, you might agree with us. You might hate what we say. But that's what we're doing today, man. We're talking about the state of R&B today as it pertains to today and, reflections of the past. We might want to talk about, some things about the past and, kind of bring that up. So without any further delay, man, let's jump into the show. We're going to have my special guest host, Gage from Loading Snacks. There he is right there. What up? What's going on, player? How you feel?
Feeling good. You know what I'm saying?
Good,
I tell people all the time, everything's still working. Last time I checked.
There you go.
No complaint. You know what I'm saying?
Especially in days and times, man. You always gotta do a little quick check. Make sure everything good. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And you do a little call. People will start running and stuff like that. So it is
exactly.
Like on anyway. But anyway, yeah, like I said, man, I'm excited because we got you on the show. I've been talking about you for weeks, and now my audience gets chances. This is the guy I've been talking about, Gage from Loading Snack. And you go by Gage, right?
I'm Gage, happy, right? Hey, man, listen. I'm happy to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like look, I've been paying attention to what you've been doing from the outside. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
We've been talking a little inside baseball. A little bit of that. Yes, so I'm happy to be here. Always happy to participate. And if there's something to be said about music, trust me, I have an opinion. I got an opinion about everything.
I know you do. I know you do. You don't play no games.
Yeah.
That's what's up. All right, so let's go ahead and get this started, man. Let's have a little fun with it. And so, like I said, we're talking about the state of R&B, as compared, now as compared to the past, like in the 90s when we were kind of listening to music and stuff like that. I mean, we still listen, but, that was our era, right. So now it's a new era. So we want to kind of, talk about the between the two. And I got a question. Let me get notes up in here right quick. Loading it up like Loading Snacks. Crunch, crunch. All right. So, what do you think the vibe is? Like, I want to get your personal take on the vibe of, R&B today. Like, what do you think? Like, what do you think personally? What's your vibe? Like, what's your take on it?
Man, people are probably going to hate this. I'm going to tell you what. I think right now, R&B might be in the best place it's ever been.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. In that one.
Well, here's the thing, man. right now R&B, our R&B, you know what I'm saying? Like when you talk about 90s R&B, as clean as it was, right? It was in a transitional period where it flopped. You know, hip hop was so heavily infused in everything that like most of our favorite R&B artists, like the ones that were doing the best numbers and had the best singles, most of their music was really hip hop. You know what I mean? Almost every solid joint had to have a remix with somebody spitting an 8 on it, or you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So like when you really think about like the transition, like the 80s R&B, that was more of like the end of Patti LaBelle and Anita Baker and you know, like that kind of stuff, man. El DeBarge, like the DeBarge, like those groups, those people, that stuff kind of faded away to make way for SWV and TLC, and those groups had music that was infused with dance. Like you could, you know, it was hip hop.
Yeah,
I feel like more than it was R&B, but it was still R&B because of the way that they sang. And then it went away. In the early 2000s, it all, like R&B itself transitioned more into like neo soul. And so what we used to listen to and consider R&B, right, by comparison, there were always outliers. You had major players like a Beyonce, you know what I mean?
Right.
But still, Beyonce's biggest hit off of her first album had Jay-Z all over it, right? It was still super hip-hop infused. Right now, what's happening with R&B? They're starting to, it's a great mix. We've begun to allow them to still have some of that.
Yeah.
The hip hop is still there. It still lives in that world. But the lines are so much, like now a lot of R&B singers kind of rap, kind of sing.
I was just going to say that. They're singing. Yeah.
That was a thing back in the day that only MC Brains got away with. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was not.
You remember what happened with 50 and Ja Rule?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Ja
It's like, yo, if he do one more joint, they a duet now. You know what I'm saying? It's not so where it is now, I think R&B is way more experimental. I think there's so much more flexibility in the artist being allowed to be an artist. I think there are way more people and types of people who are really doing what you would consider R&B music. People who aren't necessarily traditionally black or white, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, right? Sinead Hartnett, you know what I mean? Alina Baraz. Like there's like a super kind of discreet neo soul vibe that exists. They got some really dope joints. There's the straight up, this is for the radio, this is album, you know, this is radio R&B. But I think because it's coming from so many different directions and so much of it is accepted and is acceptable. I think it's in the best place it's ever been. I
think you're right about that. I think you're right about that too, because when you bring up the fact that it's so diverse now in the music and in lifestyles, I got to give you that 100%. I never even thought about that. Like, it's different now. You can say things. You can kind of be more yourself now than you could, like, say, like 80s and 90s. Yeah, man. You try to come out and you know, say like a gay singer or whatever like that. Yeah, man. Like that wasn't, you know, people didn't accept that back then. So now you hear songs right now. I don't remember ever hearing songs like that in the 80s and 90s. I don't think we really did. But like nowadays, like you'll hear a female singing, "Hey, I love this female." You know what I'm saying? I'm loving you. I'm with you.
Right.
Rocking with you. You never really heard stuff like that back in the day.
Not at all. Not at all. Now that doesn't mean that that's not what they were saying. They just wouldn't specify a sex.
Right. They wouldn't come out
whatever. They would just say it, and you would assume because so and so was singing it or whatever. Right. But you know, look, there's the only thing we really missing right now is like large groups. right? There's nothing that is like Silk or
group
or New Edition or like there's no big group.
Right.
Everybody's a solo act.
Yes.
A duo, if anything, right? But you also have to understand that like the internet has changed things, streaming has changed things. The kind of control that record labels had over how they put you out, who gets to listen to you, how, when, and where, it's not all gone. But so much of that is gone now because you can instantly begin to start a fandom online and people can see you from anywhere and listen to you anywhere.
Absolutely.
You can go and do shows anywhere. Yeah. When a label, listen, when I would sit down with a label would say, hey, we like your stuff. We just not sure where to start you. Where do we put you out?
How do we label you and stuff like that?
Yeah. Exactly, right? Because they knew they had to work the market a certain way.
Right.
The internet is just like, you know what? I got an idea for a song. I recorded it tonight and I uploaded it tonight. And tomorrow it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like ghost dropping entire albums. You know what I'm saying? Just like it's in the best place it's ever been because people are just free to express themselves, you know what I mean, to experiment with different kinds of music, with different sounds. You know, something like a Soul Sonic. That's crazy.
Soul Sonic?
Yeah.
Soul Sonic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Silk
You said
Sonic. Silk Sonic.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Silk Sonic. Like that's a thing that like if you look at like I don't know how much you are again, you know, we do a show about video games and pop culture stuff. Silk Sonic, they just put them in Fortnite.
Oh, they did. Oh, I did see advertisement for that. Yeah,
right?
That's crazy. Yeah, look at that marketing.
What's happening with music and where they can expose you, how they can put you in front of people.
It's crazy.
You know, it's just like you have this character. It doesn't even have to be Bruno. Like you can pick any character. You could pick Wolverine and still do the dances from the Silk Sonic videos and play their music, right? So it's in the best place it's ever been. There was a time, probably 10 or 15 years ago, I was like, man, R&B is in trouble.
Yeah, some people was calling it dead and all that.
I mean, when Jill Scott probably hit her peak, neo soul was still a thing. Like her music was considered neo soul. You couldn't even really call it R&B. It was neo soul. Right. You know what I mean? Guys like Kim, that's neo soul. That's not, you know what I mean? Like it was
music soul child.
Yeah, I mean, and his was so much of what music does is hip hop. It just is, bro. It has that.
You know, you were talking about that fusion.
Yeah. He got very Philly, very roots sounding R&B. You know what I mean? Now, man, like if you just look at artists who have crazy following, there are artists who have crazy followings you've never heard of.
I was talking to my boy about that, Nico. It's crazy, and I think that's because you know, the landscape is so different now than it used to be, and like you mentioned earlier, because like you said, radio and TV, they can kind of control it all. They control who you're exposed to, who you're going to see, who's blowing up, and like you said, they still kind of do that today, but not as much as they used to before. So anybody, like I can, you can, you know, you can put out a song. I've got stuff on the internet right now. So it's like, you know, there's so many people that can do it and have access to it that it's like, you know, at least for me, it's like just people. I'll be looking up, like matter of fact, just recently I was on the internet and found some people. Like I found a group called They, and when you talking about groups, I think they were a duo, and they got a song. I was like, damn, I never heard of them. This song's hot. There was some other couple other people that I was like, yo, I ain't never heard of these people in my life. Like, yo, it's hot. You know? So it was almost like I also was having this conversation with my man. Is that it's almost today you got to know where to go to find it. You know, whereas back in the day you had certain outlets. You had your MTV, obviously radio. You had BET, and that's where you went to see these artists. It's like, okay, who's the next big thing? Okay, on there, you know. But nowadays, like, where do you find them? There's so many different outlets. You almost got to know where to go. You know.
And in a lot of ways, they were deciding what the next big thing was. In a lot of ways. But now, you want to drop a video, you just put it on YouTube. That's what it is. Right? Nobody can really tell you, no, you can't put this out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's no control over who has access to see it and who doesn't. If you put it out and you got a following, whether it's your Twitter, your Instagram, whether it's TikTok, you know, whatever it is, you know, there are people who are blowing up and getting deals. I mean, look, not that it's R&B, right? But there was a dude, I can't think of his name right now. There was a dude last year who like blew up over TikTok because he was singing like sea shanties, like old pirate sea shanties. Listen, and I'm talking about blew up and got a deal singing sea shanties on TikTok. The landscape is so different that you can,
I'm gonna point this out, not to cut you off, but when you say that I'm thinking about oh my God, what's her name? Doja Cat. Remember how Doja Cat got exposed? You remember that song? It was like Move Power, something like that. Yeah. Do you remember that? Do you remember how crazy it is?
Move. All right.
The biggest stars in the world now.
Yeah. I mean, that's look, love it or hate it, right? Whether you love that or you hate it.
Yeah.
The exposure to a person who has an insane amount of creativity, right? She would have got shut down a million times over walking into a label 10 years ago, 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just there's no way, right? So many people love and appreciate her music now because something like that happened, right? So there were always stories of people who had like a chance meeting with somebody and it just turned into something and it snowballed and they became famous or it turned into a hit, right? But, you know, realistically, when you look at what I mean, a perfect example, you watched our show when my man Tui was on from the Hamiltons, and as incredible of a singer as he is, and they are right singing back up for Anthony Hamilton for, you know, however long, and he used to sing back up for Fantasia. He was on Fantasia's show years ago. But the thing that did it for them was when they went viral because they was making fun of Birdman. Put some respect on it. Like they just
I saw the song.
You know what I'm saying? They turned that became a thing. You know what I mean? And it's not like they weren't talented before that. And I was just saying again, like now the internet just gives you so many more options and so much exposure. That, you know, R&B, you got folks like Snow Allegra, Ari Lennox, Pink Sweats, Ty Dolla $ign, like this.
Blitz,
there's so much happening. Blitz. There's.
Would you consider him a singer or rapper?
I don't know. I think that's part of the problem. But also,
you mentioned that a minute ago.
But also, I think that's part of the solution.
Lines are blurred.
Is that the lines are just so blurry now, and I think one of the other things that's happening is we're using American Idol's been around for a long time. But there are more and more shows like that, right? Where we are but American Idol was more or less based on people who had experience being music executives telling people yes or no. Yes, you can, no, you can't. Yes, you have it, no, you don't. Yes, you can sing, you have no stage presence, right? Like But now what's happening is you have shows where people who have been artists their entire run are helping to develop other artists or other people or other singers when they come on to a show. So and it's a bunch of different people from different genres of music, which is exposing more people to more types of music.
Yeah.
R&B being one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you consider somebody like Christina Aguilera a pop singer or an R&B singer. I think she's both.
I would say she's more pop only because, you know, a lot of her hits to me were pop. What was her R&B? What name a song from her that you think was R&B?
I mean, here's my thing. I fell in love with Christina Aguilera as a singer live at a TLC concert when she opened for them because she came out and she sang Etta James At Last. Like she came out and was literally like, I'm sick, so I can't sing the song I'm supposed to sing. So instead, I'm going to sing my favorite song by my favorite artist.
Wow. Okay,
and I'm like,
impressive.
Whatever. You know what I'm saying? You extra bubblegum pop, whatever. Hey, bro, she punished that joint. Really? If you listen to the Herbie Hancock Possibilities album,
okay,
she has a version of Donny Hathaway's "A Song for You."
Oh, I think I heard that.
She puts that joint in the ground, bro. Yeah. She grew up on R&B music. She is a pop singer because a manager, some A&R said, this is the direction you need to go because brown people won't accept you if you come out and try to. It's just, and let's be honest, you know what I mean? Like, and we still got people that can't deal with Eminem. So
you're right.
You know what I mean? We barely let Michael McDonald in. Hey, listen, if he hadn't been singing with Patty, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
what do you think we ever accepted Justin Timberlake?
They forced their way.
You know, he went back and forth between that R&B pop, you know.
But listen, he grew up on R&B and like old school like blues.
And Justin's my man too. Just to say all no.
Yeah, no doubt. Like, so he always loved and wanted to do that. And anytime he sang with them, his notes always sounded a little more R&B-ish than everybody else's.
Right.
If you remember, they had a song called "Gone."
Gone. I knew he was gonna say that. I used to love that. I used to sing it.
I'm gonna tell you something. What I remember is that they went on 106 in Park. Just showed up to 106 in Park. Okay. Yeah. They wasn't supposed to be on there, but how you gonna tell them no? They like the biggest group on the planet at the time.
Right.
They showed up to 106 in Park to debut "Gone" on 106 in Park. And I remember it like it was yesterday. AJ and Free are just kind of like, I mean, all right, here we are, NSYNC, 106 in Park. The crowd's kind of going, they play the song, people love it. For the next like 3 weeks, that joint is the #1 joint on like the blackest show that's not TRL. Right?
Right. Yeah.
And I remember Free going, you know, these guys showed up and this is the song y'all voted for. I don't know why, but this is the one y'all want. So here it is.
Wow, I remember saying that.
Hot, bro.
Go back and look at that.
She was hot, bro.
Wow. Yeah.
They, you know, when he decided to go solo, it was him and Timberland and Pharrell. You know what I'm saying? It was the Neptunes. If you think about what is happening in R&B right now and what is happening to the people who we traditionally look at, listen to, and trust to do our rap and our R&B, they're not making their money doing that. They're making their money doing country. T-Pain has been writing the #1 country hits for like the last 4 years in a row.
Wow, that was
if you've never heard of Luke Bryan, Luke Bryan is like the #1 artist on the CMAs. He has been for like years running. You know what singles have been his #1 singles? The ones T-Pain wrote.
That's crazy.
You know who else T-Pain been banging for? Taylor Swift.
Really? I thought Taylor Swift wrote her own stuff.
If you go and you listen, once you know it, you go and you listen and you can hear it. R&B is in the best place it's ever been because it, like hip hop is the most listened to music on the planet. It's the most copied, and they're infusing it into everything. R&B is the same way. It's the same way.
Yeah.
I think that R&B is in the best state it's ever been in.
You know, so yeah, you have these artists, and like you said, Pink Sweats. I've seen him on some award shows and stuff like that. So, in my opinion, some of these artists are kind of like underground, or it's like it's not widely known who they are. There's people who know who they are, they have a fan base, but I don't think it's as widely known as some of these other artists, say like a Chris Brown or Neo or whoever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I'm not saying that we have the same level of superstars that we once had in R&B, right? But a lot of our biggest superstars really were pop stars. Like Mariah Carey was really a pop star, but she was an R&B singer. Like I don't, you know what I mean? And Whitney's the same way. As a matter of fact, a lot of R&B people in the R&B world couldn't stand Whitney when Whitney came out because they just felt like it was too watered down and too pop and too whatever.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, they did do that.
That's the thing about it is, I think part of what it is, you know what? If you look at a group like The Roots, The Roots is probably certified the best band on the planet.
I agree with you on that.
Way before Jimmy Fallon, right?
Yeah,
but that's why they're on Jimmy Fallon.
They earned that, yeah.
But here's the thing. The Roots were making great money doing shows in Switzerland and in Germany, and they was traveling all over the world, earning better than a living wage. But they certainly weren't at the top of anybody's charts or at the top of. I don't think that that's what it is necessarily about anymore. I think that there are many people, many artists who are finding ways to live and sustain themselves, to go on the road, to do shows, to have followings without having to be the highest chart toppers.
Yeah.
And I think that is allowing more people to bring in and have the freedom to do more things with the music. But the stuff that they're doing that is new and is original, I love it. Yeah. These folks can really sing. Auto-tune has mostly gone away. We have people that can do live shows.
I don't know about that, man. A lot of people still use that damn auto-tune, man.
Well, listen. Okay. Let me say that very noticeable to the majority of the naked ear, auto-tune is gone for the most part. When auto-tune is in play now, it is in play, in use in the way it was originally designed for, which was to make somebody who has a slightly off. You know what? Like when you're making a beat in a beat machine, and the beat machine has a quantizer, you know, naturally as you drum, it gets a little off. Quantizer just kind of keeps you in check. That's more or less what auto-tune was designed to do. You have somebody who can sing, but they, you know, miss a little something or whatever. Auto-tune is designed to just kind of keep it.
Fix the note. Yep.
T-Pain found a way to freak it. That was all she wrote. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Off the because they saw him blowing up, and he had all these hit records. They like, yo, we need to do that. Exactly. Everybody was like, yo, we need to do that.
I mean, again, like I think right now, like if you don't like what you're hearing on the radio that is considered R&B, you could go to Spotify, go to their R&B playlist, and you will find stuff from people you never heard that you absolutely will love. Not just like, but you will love. We lost music that you could make babies to. It's back.
Yes.
It's back. I want you to know it's back.
Okay.
It was gone for a long time. I remember being like, is this what y'all doing it to? Like y'all young joints, is this what y'all put on? What's wrong with y'all?
Now let me ask you this. Now you brought up a very interesting point. How you said, you know, baby making music kind of just went away. But don't you think, like, because I think like right now, like I don't know, maybe there's a difference between, you know, that good quality baby making music and just a raunchy sex joint. Because raunchy sex songs have kind of like always been around, and they're probably like bigger than ever right now. You know, are you talking about those like Boys to Men quality type songs of that Tony Braxton, Whitney Houston type, good quality?
See, those are let me bring you close and hold you and dance with you, and it might turn into something songs.
Okay.
I'm talking about joints like Knocking the Boots.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about joints like that. Like, you remember how when we was growing up on that joint, at like 10 o'clock, radio would switch, and they'd be like, "It's
right,
slow jazz." Like, oh, we about to get into it. Like that. Like,
I remember that. Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it completely went away. What I will say is that they got stuck having to still play the joints that was original back then, because there wasn't anything. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But it's back, and I think the other thing that's happened is that the internet, people are so much more woke. The internet has allowed people to feel a certain level of freedom in actually saying and expressing how they feel.
Right. We mentioned that earlier. Yep.
Talking about their actual feeling, right? And the things that get under their skin, and like if you look at SZA, like she turned the industry upside down. All she did was say what she wanted to say. That was it.
Yeah, it's almost like there's no filter no more. It's no filter no more.
I mean, there never really was a filter.
Okay.
I can remember having those kind of conversations.
I think it got progressively. I don't want to say worse, but I think it kind of progressively became like more unhinged. Because because I'm thinking about like Jodeci and stuff. Like they said stuff, and they were taking it there, like H-Town, Knocking the Boots and all that. But it's like now, like I've talked about this on the show. It's like like you got your artists like like Chris Brown, and I think SZA. I mean, a lot of them are doing that nowadays. It's like, yo, no filter. I'm just that. I'm gonna eat you this, and you're gonna suck at that, and and it's like,
that's hip hop's fault.
Oh yeah, because they was just coming out and saying it, whatever, right?
That's hip hop's fault, right? These are kids that grew up on hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like we hip hop wasn't a thing for us, so we grew up on R&B and had parents that came up on R&B and church music, and hip hop completely flipped that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yep. Like they hated gangster rap, and like they were just saying the same things that they say to each other in the street. They were talking the way people talk.
Right.
When my mother used to get upset about what R. Kelly was singing about, I would just be like, let's get it on. It's pretty straightforward, bro. Marvin Gaye wasn't pulling no punches.
Right.
He just really wasn't.
Right.
I don't really think it's the only thing I think that's different is the way we consider censorship. Like we just don't. It's not the same anymore as it used to be. The words that you're allowed to say on film and TV are different from what you could say 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 40 years ago. Yeah. So I don't necessarily think it's worse. I just think it's what they know. Right? The idea of being real / being honest has replaced a lot of censorship. So is it too raunchy? For some people, sure. It's not our generation, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it is what it is, and like you said, really you kind of got to blame the generation before, like you said, because it was certain artists that was pushing boundaries. Like I said, the Jodeci's, H-Towns, they was pushing the boundaries, and it's like next generation say, okay, we're gonna take that, we're gonna run with it, So it's almost like we kind of got to blame ourselves too because we were doing it,
What's funny about it is that like one of my favorite things about hip hop is that hip hop in a way is like slave music. You know what I mean? A lot of what you would hear, a lot of slang comes out of the need to be able to say things that you didn't want people to understand, but you needed to say them out loud. Right. That's what slang really is. So when you reference something like Knocking the Boots, the first time that joint plays on the radio, your parents ain't know what they was talking about.
Right.
You could get, you know what I'm saying? There's context.
Right.
But
It's
like,
right. It's almost a hidden message.
Martin just said that joint on TV, knocking the boots, Gina. Like he just, because you could get away with it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, they don't necessarily have to. That's the difference between slang now and slang then. Slang now exists just for the sake of existing.
Right.
Then it was there so that we could speak in code out loud.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's almost like a code. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was the point.
Those who were down understood what was being said.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
And the people who knew. Exactly.
If
you didn't know, you probably weren't supposed to.
Listen, man. Yo, we could go on and on all night about this matter. We're gonna have to have a part two. We're gonna have to have a part two.
I'm down
to this whole conversation because I got a couple of things I want to talk to you about too. But so let's jump into the last segment, which is the Best Life Spotlight. And what I'm gonna do today is we're gonna do a little something different with the Best Life Spotlight. I'm gonna leave it to my cousin Gage from Loading Snacks to shout out anybody that you want to shine a light to and give us some, give us your websites and all, where can we find you, all that stuff.
Oh man, listen, the easiest thing to do is just search Loading Snacks. If you Google it, we there. On any social media at Loading Snacks, just like it sounds. You'll find us. We're there. We do a lot of charity work. You know what I mean? I'm working on trying to put something together for Ukraine now. But we do stuff for breast cancer, we do stuff for autism, we do stuff for leukemia, like you name it. And we're gonna be real busy. We do a lot of conventions, a lot of shows, have a lot of conversations about being comfortable being who you are and stuff like that. So like if you are a geek about anything, whether it's music or TV shows or comic books or video games or any of the above, we are a beacon for you. We are a place for you to come and feel free. So by all means, just search at Loading Snacks. Absolutely.
Now, is there any other shows or any other independent artists or anything that you want to shine a light of before we get up out of here?
Independent. I mean, listen, check out the Hamiltones. If you're not familiar, get familiar with the Hamiltones.
I'm trying to have them on here, yeah.
Bro,
absolutely.
Get hip to the Hamiltones, because I'm gonna tell you what, them boys be singing.
Yeah, they do.
They be singing. Bro. That's my joint for the day.
They be singing.
They be singing. Yeah.
All right, man. That's dope. Okay, well, we're gonna have you back, man. We're gonna have you back. That's without question. Anytime you want to come back, let me know. You on here. I might just snatch you up and be like, look, man, we gotta have you come on the show. It was fun, man. This topic was real fun. I got plenty of other ones in the bag that we're going to talk about.
Say the word.
And yeah, man. Yeah, it was definitely fun having you on the show. And yeah, man. So that was pretty much it for today's show. I'm gonna go ahead and salute to you, sir, and thank you for getting on here, man.
Appreciate
and yeah, man, y'all make sure you check out Loading Snacks as well, man. I've checked it out many times, and I love it. Who else is on the show? You got Jokes, and you got who else you got?
My man Jokes is on the show with me. That's our wrestling guy. Sin is on the show. That's our anime guy. You know what I mean? Like, we get in every week. We do a live show. Feel free to jump in the comments, talk about whatever you want. If it so moves you. Yep. That's right. All right. Well, Gage will be back. Thank you again, man, for being on the show. And yeah, man, we're gonna go ahead and put him in the backstage. All right, man. So yeah, like I said, so that was Rhythm and Views show, man. If y'all, like everything that you saw, make sure you subscribe and caress that like button like a booty, man. That's what it is. Show that support. And yeah, with all that, I think we had a great time. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed all the content that we displayed for y'all this week. And with that being said, I think we're gonna catch y'all on the B side, man.